We should not have been in the shape we were in at halftime.
Well, the good news is this isn't hard to explain. This one isn't hard to point the finger at. If I were Gary Kubiak, I would have a very easy explanation.
Not looking forward to it.
It's on me. It's on me. It's on me. Indianapolis Colts still have not stopped Arian Foster. Still waiting to keep him from running for 6 yards a carry. Colts win the game last night, 30-17. Pretty obvious where the goat horns lie on this one. Head coach, quarterback, to a lesser extent, the left tackle who hasn't played in 4 weeks, although he didn't play well, but they certainly didn't help him play well either. See, Texans miss a golden opportunity to sweep the Indianapolis Colts. We said yesterday, what point total would you be comfortable with and think the Texans still had to win the game? I believe Adam said 24. Well, they got 23. 23 points. The Texans defense held the Indianapolis Colts to. That's a game you need to win when you hold Indianapolis to 23 points. But you decided to come out and throw. Put your left tackle in a bad situation by himself against Dwight Freeney. You decided 3rd and 2 from midfield when you're still in the game is a pass down. And you decide 4th and 2 when you're still in the game is a pass down. And by the time you finally figured out, hey, you know what? I think we can run the ball. You were down 2 touchdowns, and you were basically playing from behind. Game was lost in the first half. The game was clearly lost when Gary and Rico and Greg and everyone else scripted out the beginning of the game. Because for whatever reason, the Texans just decided, we don't need to run the ball 30 times. We don't need to take advantage of what is clearly the weakest part of the Indianapolis Colts. That is the run defense. And that's exactly what they got. They got taken advantage of because their play calling was flat out stupid.
Matt Schaub also at fault in that as well, checking out of some formations to throw the football. Opening play of the game, for instance. Opening play of the game was a good one. Andre Johnson in a matchup that he liked, checked out of it, threw the ball, and apparently fell in love with it. Despite the fact that he was under duress the entire game, their offensive line was terrible, flat out terrible in pass protection. Blown up on the ends on nearly every play. It was definitely isolated to where it appeared from the coverage of the game that only Dwayne Brown was at fault, but that was not what I saw, certainly not. And I'm sure it's not what Matt Schaub saw either. It still does or something that was talked about early in his starting days with Houston, his inability to really feel the rush, get out of harm's way. He's not quick, he's not nimble, but he's probably at least as quick as the other quarterback who ran for a first down last night. Just still doesn't seem to have a real good sense of when things don't go perfectly, what he needs to do to make something happen just a little bit better than a disastrous play. Bottom line is, the better team won. The better team was obvious pretty much from start to finish last night, and it wasn't your Texans. Instead of being in second place in the AFC, instead of having the NFL's second-best record, instead of leading the AFC South Division with a perfect division record of 2-0, a perfect conference record of 4-0, they're merely average now in the AFC. They're 8th. They're tied for 8th in a 16-team conference, where this conference making the playoffs will be difficult. What should have happened last night at the office of Robert McNair is a final decision. There is a line in the sand if you know what you're doing as the owner of this football team. The excuse of, well, I can't just say if they don't make the playoffs, he needs to go. It's just not that easy to make the playoffs. If the Texans go 10-6 and miss the playoffs, I'm fine with them moving on to the next guy. Texans go 9-7 and miss the playoffs, whatever record. There's no reason this team should not be in the playoffs this year. And if they're not in the playoffs, there obviously something happened. So then there would be a reason. And I think we all know what that would be. So we begin there. No surprise. Phones are open.